Hey, I'm Creech and this is Creech Cars, where I talk about car news, history, and culture. And in this video, I'll be giving you a look at the Toyota Land Cruiser SE, the electric Land Cruiser of tomorrow. Make sure to give the video a like as it really helps out the channel, and let's get into it. Now, just a couple of months ago, the Toyota Land Cruiser made its triumphant return with a rugged redesign that pays homage to the history of the iconic model. The previous generation of Toyota's longest running nameplate was a full-size sleeper luxury SUV with a V8 and a $90,000 price tag. Although it had a cult following, it was discontinued after the 2021 model year. The new model is more off-road oriented and starts at nearly half the price of the old one. But more importantly, reflecting the changes over the past several years, the new Land Cruiser has replaced the big V8 with Toyota's iForce Max system, featuring a turbocharged 2.4-liter four-cylinder that combines with an electric motor to total 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. While Toyota has been the king of hybrid powertrains for the past 20 years, the brand has slowly become more open to the idea of fully electric cars and SUVs. This year at the Japan Mobility Show, Toyota is showing off a number of EV concepts, including the Land Cruiser SE. So I'll go over the interior and exterior of the electric Land Cruiser and the mechanical and performance specs to see what Toyota has in store for the future. Taking a look at the exterior of the electric Land Cruiser, we can see glimpses of Toyota/Lexus design cues, as well as some more generic EV SUV design trends with maybe some Land Rover inspiration. The headlight design looks like a clean evolution of the lights found on the current Sequoia and Tundra, with Toyota spelled out and backlit in the center. The large grille area is very blank and almost looks unfinished. I really wish there were a better grille design here. Some heavy gloss black accents the front fascia, and the SE does appear to have a good approach angle, hinting at some proper capability off-road. At the base of the windshield, there is a heat extractor looking design feature that probably isn't functional but adds a little flair. The tinted glass and blacked out pillars create a truly floating roof design, and sometimes the roof is shown in a different color from the rest of the body. The side profile features large fender flares and an Evoque-like bodyline that rises into the rear quarter window. Slim digital side view mirrors and flush door handles clean up the design, and there's some more gloss black on the rocker panels. The rim design is simple and clean, and overall just surprisingly reasonable for a concept car. Finally, coming around to the rear, I think here the Land Cruiser SE takes on some more of the Lexus and BZ4X design cues with the thin LED light bar that runs across a bulging rear hatch. There's a roof-mounted spoiler and a sporty-looking bumper with some more gloss black and decent-looking ground clearance. Overall, the design looks good, but it's a little bland and concept-y. I do think a production version would take on some more of the design features found on the current Land Cruiser and Sequoia, as well as the BZ4X, with it being electric. As for the interior, we don't have any official shots yet, but there is an interior concept for the standard Land Cruiser that will be shown at the Japan Mobility Show, so we can take a look at that, as well as the BZ4X's interior, to put together an image of what Toyota might do for a model like this. First, here's a quick look at the BZ4X, where Toyota went with a fairly elegant design for the price point. There's a simple digital gauge cluster that's easy to read, and a large but not oversized infotainment screen. Below that, there are plenty of physical buttons for the climate controls and other frequently used settings. Now here's the Neo steer concept that's been implemented inside of the current production Land Cruiser. First of all, I want to say I do like the new Land Cruiser's interior. It's rugged and functional, but still looks nice, and everything is easily accessible. As you can see, this concept has more of a yoke instead of a normal steering wheel, but it's actually the result of a pedal-less setup. Here you can see that accelerating and braking can be controlled with one hand, and while a design like this originated for use by disabled people, some able-bodied people might actually prefer something like this after getting to try it. In addition to that, not having pedals in the footwell can be more comfortable for some people. The Land Cruiser SE has larger exterior dimensions than the production Land Cruiser, being about 8 inches longer in wheelbase, and will therefore have a more spacious interior. With the extra space, this interior includes the addition of a third row, much like the Land Cruiser of old. So while none of this is official, I think we can surmise that Toyota won't get into the crazy minimalism with a huge center screen trend just because it's an electric car, and a fully electric Land Cruiser would retain its clean and simple but easy to use interior. Moving on to the mechanical and performance specs. Of course, this concept is fully electric, and Toyota says it is all-wheel drive to give it great off-road capability. Toyota hasn't given a whole lot of details on the powertrain, but being all-wheel drive, the Land Cruiser SE should have at least 2 motors with one on each axle, and could possibly add a third one on higher trim levels. Toyota has said the driving experience will be very torquey, which is kind of a given. Range would be very important out on the trails, and this concept uses Toyota's solid-state battery technology, which is still in the works, but for this particular concept, the battery is projected to provide 600 miles of range, and that could be a reality within a few years. I will be uploading a video about solid-state batteries soon, so be on the lookout for that. Like I said earlier, the electric Land Cruiser will still compete in the off-road segment, so you can expect it to have some software upgrades and manually adjustable systems to make it more suitable for a particular environment. The ground clearance and approach and departure angles appear to be competitive, but again, Toyota hasn't given exact numbers here. The body itself is of monocoque construction and has dimensions similar to that of a Range Rover. Toyota says the body is more rigid than unibody or body-on-frame SUVs, but I don't think monocoque bodies are practical for a production vehicle. Instead, I think this is hinting that a production Land Cruiser SE would use a unibody construction as opposed to the body-on-frame that's more typical for off-road oriented vehicles. So now that you understand what the concept is, will it actually be produced? The answer isn't super clear, but I do think this concept is representative of something Toyota will actually produce, albeit with major changes for the production model. First of all, if this is the precursor to a new production model that will be made for the 2026 or 2027 model year, as some reports suggest, then I highly doubt it will be fully electric. This is based on Toyota's history of reluctance towards EVs and the current climate of decreasing demand and margins for electric cars that's causing many automotive executives to rethink an abrupt transition to only producing EVs. I think it would get the larger iForce Max setup found in the current Tundra, which makes up to 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque, definitely enough to fill the V8 void and provide smooth power delivery. Here, Toyota can still call it electrified, as some other automakers like to say, and add some technology and connectivity updates to the interior that will come naturally over the next several years. Now, the main reason I think Toyota would actually be looking to add a vehicle like this to its lineup might be a little tough for some people to hear, but I think it's reasonable. And that is that Toyota is eyeing a replacement for the Sequoia. Sales of the Sequoia have been stagnant at best over the past decade, and the model has never really gotten close to its pre-recession sales levels. The recent introduction of the Grand Highlander showed that Toyota knew those who wanted something bigger than the standard Highlander just looked towards other brands. And this new Land Cruiser could replace the Sequoia with a more modern and upscale design that is better suited to buyers in the segment. But for now, that's just my opinion. So let me know what you think about the Toyota Land Cruiser SE and the future of Toyota's full-size SUVs in the comments below. On this channel, I talk about car news like this, as well as history and culture, so if you like this video, check out the rest of the channel and subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.